What is up, everyone? My name is Adam with the Lavin Real Estate Group and Next Home Synergy, and I'm here today to answer a question that I get almost every single week from people that call me that found a house on either Zillow or Realtor.com or Redfin or even on Facebook. And the question is, hey, I found this house online. Can I go see it? And unfortunately, and this is where the frustration kicks in, my answer oftentimes is no, it's already off the market. Why does that happen? So if you go back to the early 2000s and before that, before looking online for homes was a big thing, people used to get in their car with their real estate agent and, drive around looking for signs, going and cross-referencing the classified section, or going off of what was probably outdated in this giant MLS book that looked like the old Yellow Pages. And then along came Zillow and Craigslist, and all these other online platforms to search for homes, and the world kind of opened up for you, the consumer. What's also kind of kicked in, though, is a little bit of confusion. So what happens is, you look online and it's a great thing. There's video tours, aerial tours, 3D tours, so you kind of have a pretty good idea of what's going on inside the house, what's going on outside of the house, what your neighbors or future neighbors' house might look like. And that's a great place to start. Unfortunately, these companies really make all of their money off of you and your information. And so what's happening is, they're capturing your information because you saw a house and you really liked it, and you saw, you went and showed your parents and your friends and your coworkers and your significant other, and you finally decided, like, this could be the one, we want to go see it, we're going to put an offer in. And by that point, it's already off the market. So there's a couple things that kind of let you know whether it's on the market or off the market, and why does this even happen? Well, it happens because Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com and all these big companies make their money by you clicking the let me find out more information button and them getting your information, and those companies then selling it back to me as a real estate agent or the mortgage broker or pretty much anybody in this field that's trying to get in contact with you to provide a service, which may be unethical, maybe what the heck. You feel played a little bit, but unfortunately that's just kind of the way the game works. And the more inventory they have, whether it's available or not, the more opportunity that they get to collect your information. So to understand the game that they're playing, there's a couple things that you have to look for, and that is whether the home is active, under contract, pending, contingent, or already sold. So we're going to go through these steps just to kind of explain them. So the very first along the entire way is something called coming soon. You don't see a whole lot of these on the Zillows of the world or Redfins, although they might be on there, but it's not a huge amount. But what it means is that in the MLS, we as real estate agents have the ability to market the property up to about 3 weeks before we actually put it up for sale. And what that does is kind of get the idea out there to the community of other real estate agents and people that are actively looking for houses in that particular area, to know that, hey, a house, is getting the final details put on it, usually just like a little bit of paint, landscaping, things like that, maybe moving out some of the furniture and getting things in their right order before the house is actually ready to be sold. So that's a little bit of a time frame when there are no showings. It's just kind of like a heads up, like, hey, we're going to be there. And they give you a round time. Usually it's a pretty accurate date, but it could change. Then you have active. So active means the house is for sale. We're able to make a appointment to go see the house, and you're able to actively write an offer and put an offer in on the house if you'd like to see it. Right now, in this market, active doesn't last a whole very, very long. Houses, depending on the zip code that you're in, are selling within 2 weeks, and some of them are selling in a day still. So it's kind of crazy out there, but that's why we need to know all these things. So the next one is something called under contract or active under contract. Some of these sites out there are putting in that they're contingent, and basically what that means is that the seller has accepted an offer from the buyer, but there's a contingency involved. Often what those contingencies are in today's market are one of two things: either inspections, which is probably the most common, or they can have a contingency in where the person that's purchasing the home has to sell their other home first. So financially, if that house for some reason didn't sell or didn't go to settlement, that would cause an issue with the house that you're looking at being sold. The other thing that you might see in there is something called a kick-out clause. Now, if you see that, or your agent lets you know that there's a kick-out clause on it, what that means is that while they've accepted an offer, they are still actively able to show the house most of the time, and they're also actively able to accept an offer. And what that kick-out means is that if you were to give an offer with better terms or better pricing or something that just worked out better for that particular seller, you would actually kick out the other buyer from their contract. Not always the easiest thing in the world to do, since there's already commitment to go along, but in this market with how tight it is a great thing to look into, and a great, kind of way to negotiate your way into something if it is available. And then the next thing that people a lot of times see is pending. What pending means is that we've gotten, essentially, probably through appraisals, we've gotten through inspections, and more or less the person that is buying the home is really just going through the final formalities of getting all of their mortgage paperwork in order, and the underwriters are kind of doing some work in their background along with the mortgage broker and the bank, just to get everything ready and get to the actual settlement date. So generally, if you see something as pending, what that means is it's essentially off the market, and there's like a 90+% chance that this house is going to be completely sold and gone. And then obviously there is sold or off market or not for sale or whatever Zillow refers to it as. And what that means is, the house is sold, you know how much it's sold for, and that's kind of about what the final price was settled on, and what the other houses of the similar square footage, similar condition, and similar acreage nearby should be expected to sell for. So those are the things you have. You have coming soon, active under contract or contingent, pending, and then sold. So hopefully that clears up some questions and confusions that you see as you're out there looking on all these websites. I know for some of you, you're on there all the time. For some of you, you're just kind of getting out there. The best thing in the world you can do is talk to a real estate agent like myself, and we can actually get you set up on a more accurate search through our MLS, so you can see everything up to date with all the information that you want to know, and really kind of get an idea of what's out there, and you'll be the first one to get into any houses that are coming on the market, and the first one to know about anything that's going on in the market. So if you do need any help or you have any questions about these things, feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, write me an email. My number is 610-442-9371. Thank you so much, and I look forward to working with you.